What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. It's a big weekend for pro wrestling. Another one of these busy weekends. We have multiple events. One of the ones we're going to talk about in this video, we're going to talk about WWE Backlash coming from France, which is a rarity. Not a big wrestling scene in France. There is one, though. They do know WWE. And this event, I think, had about 11,500 people, somewhere around there. I did notice, you notice a couple of empty spots, but again, this is not exactly, like I said before, the biggest wrestling territory on the planet, but it was a great show, and the crowd that was there, the 11,500 plus that was there, man, they made a lot of noise. This is probably one of the best wrestling crowds I have heard in a long time. They were into every single thing, and that's kind of the cool thing about when you see like WWE going to these different countries. Even with AEW, when they go to Wembley, when they did the Wembley show last year, and when they're up in Canada, they've been doing well. And even New Japan going to Taiwan the other week. So this was a fun show to see, the companies going out of their usual territories. This show, again, this is Triple H's booking with the 5-match shows. This is very reminiscent of what he used to do in the black and gold era of NXT, and I always liked that format for WWE because, if you're going to have all the bombast and everything else, maybe have less matches so you can give them more time and be a little bit more focused. But we're going to get into it right now. The show opened up, I should say, with a match between Tama Tonga, that's right, Tama Tonga in WWE, made his big debut at SmackDown the other week, teaming up with the new quote-unquote tribal chief, Solo Sikoa, taking on Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, RKO. That's just a great name. That just fit together really well. This match started out with them just brawling all over the place. The match didn't even start. You had to have Nick Aldis come down and in French say that it was a no disqualification, falls count anywhere, Texas Tornado, whatever kind of match you want to call it. No rules, basically. So these two teams beat the living crap out of each other for a while. This was pretty fun. The biggest news coming out of it, especially for us New Japan fans, we knew Tama Tonga was going there. There was some speculation about his brother, but it became official on the show. Tonga Loa is in WWE. Formerly Camacho is back in WWE with his brother Tama Tonga. They're calling him Tonga Loa, so they're keeping his name from New Japan. The Guerrillas of Destiny are in WWE. He did help Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa win the match against Owens and Randy Orton. It was a fun match. Paul Heyman looking like he's he's increasingly worried every single time, Solo's making these moves, and he's brought in the Guerrillas of Destiny from New Japan. This is crazy. There's so many implications to this too. This storyline has some legs on it. For those of you who are WWE fans who may not know, years ago, Tama Tonga was in this big Twitter beef with Roman Reigns, so that adds another layer. I wonder if they're going to touch on it when Roman comes back, but that adds another layer onto it. A lot of people are clamoring for Roman to come back. It's so funny. The guy was the biggest heel in the company like a couple months ago, and now everybody wants him back. When he comes back, it's going to be such a huge reaction. It's well planned out here by WWE, but that wasn't the only time we see them. The Guerrillas were run into Jey Uso as he was preparing for his World Championship match against Damian Priest, the current champion, and there was just these looks exchanged, and Heyman kind of shaking his head like, dude, we got problems, and man, this is some pretty good stuff. I did enjoy this. I wonder where the Bloodline storyline, it's something about it that always, every iteration they seem to be able to find some magic with it, and just doing very little. But again, like I said, when you're pulling from mafia, crime boss, dynasty, family kind of storylines, it's always going to work. And this is working very well. Of course, a lot of people are wondering, Hikuleo over New Japan, man. And for those of you who are WWE fans who don't know who he is, he's the other part of Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa over in New Japan, and that dude's like 6'10". So everybody right now, I think the entire wrestling world as of today is going, well, it looks like Hikuleo probably leaving New Japan come next February 1st, but that's not a guarantee, but we'll see if that happens in the future. Speaking of Jey Uso in that match, we do go through probably one of the funner matches, probably the match that was the most fun on the night. Jey Uso challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship, which is interesting because Jey, even he himself admitted that his match with Jimmy at WrestleMania was kind of a dud. But this match was not a dud. This crowd was into freaking everything, even a standoff with them in the middle of the match. This is really good. And the character work afterwards. Damian Priest retaining the championship, but he had some help from the other members of Judgment Day. Well, who remains of Judgment Day, because Dominic is out and Rhea Ripley's out. Jade and McDonough and Finn Balor come down and continue to beat up on Jey, and Damian Priest pulls them off. It's like, no, stop it. He's even got Finn Balor by the freaking mouth, which I was like, ooh, that's pretty good. But he tells him, you stand here, we raise the title, let's get out of here, he's done. So the turn towards Damian Priest becoming a face, it seems to be on the way. And the Judgment Day, once again, even though for the past few months they've seen them been fine, they had troubles last year, and it seems the troubles are back again with Judgment Day. We'll see how that plays out in the future. Sorry, getting tongue-tied. Jade Cargill wins her first WWE Championship almost as quickly as she won her first AEW Championship. She is now Tag Team Champions along with Bianca Belair. They beat the Kabuki Warriors in a match that was sloppy as hell, except for one part. There was a really good part of this match when the transitions went into Jaded, and that would have been a cool ending to the match, but they did get Bianca to do her finisher, and the ladies win the championships. It's pretty cool. Jade's still rough as hell. I don't know how much longer the fans are going to give her leeway for that, but I think that ending sequence kind of made up for it for this match, but I don't know. We'll have to see where that goes in the future. We had some other matches on the card, but I think the main thing everybody is really going to point to at the end of the day is going to be the main event between AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes. The internet is already going crazy, and I had to chime in on it too. This is the second time WWE has said that Cody Rhodes was leader of Bullet Club. I think Cody's probably feeding this to them. Cody Rhodes was never the leader of Bullet Club. He tried to be the leader of Bullet Club when Kenny was, but he wasn't. I know, like I said, Bobby the Brain Heenan used to say, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story, but facts are important, and that is a fact. Cody Rhodes was never the leader of Bullet Club. WWE fans don't care about it, but everybody else who's followed Cody's career kind of, this is the second one this week from Cody, and I'm already seeing not only pro wrestling fans, but sports entertainment fans already kind of like on the Cody. They're souring on the Cody thing faster than I thought they would, and I'm getting a little worried about that. But as far as this match was concerned, this is a great match. AJ Styles, who actually was a leader of Bullet Club in the past, he was the second one. Put in a great performance. Cody, I felt like he injured his back, but I think that was all part of the match where they worked it into it. This is a pretty solid match. It's a pretty solid title match. It's a pretty solid Cody style of match. He does retain the Universal Heavyweight Championship and continues his reign on as the white meat babyface of WWE. Again, very curious as to where this is going. Very curious as to where Damian Priest is going. And this was just a little chapter in the book that is WWE, and this is the way they're handling it. A lot of people not on the show, but it really didn't matter. It was still a great not great. I wouldn't say this show was great. I'd say it was a good WWE show. I did find myself drifting in the middle part of it, though. So my recommendations for this, I definitely will watch the first match with RKO against Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. And I think the match that stole the show was Damian Priest and Jey Uso, so definitely check those out. But I want to know what you guys think about this. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Did you check out WWE Backlash? This sets up a lot of stuff in the future, and one of the things I'm very curious about, as I mentioned before, Tama Tonga had a beef with Roman Reigns way back in the day. If we're going to get the Guerrillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa against the Usos, because it looks like that might be where it's going, that Jimmy's going to probably reunite with Jason. Jimmy got kicked out, and we're going to get the Usos against the Guerrillas. It's not going to be enough because it's 3 against 2, and that would lead to Roman coming back. And there's 2 or 3 matches in that I would love to see. I would love to see, obviously, the Guerrillas versus the Usos. I'd love to see Tama against Roman one-on-one because of that social media beef they had back in the day. And I think a 6-man between them, or some sort of Survivor Series. I mean, that might come around Survivor Series. Some sort of elimination match with them, with maybe them picking up an extra person on each side, I think that would be excellent too. But again, let me know what you guys thought about WWE Backlash in the comment box below. And until next time, I'll see you guys here for more news, rumors, and commentary on the Rant Review Pro Wrestling. We got Wrestling Dontaku from New Japan Pro Wrestling to talk about. So if you're not subscribed, you haven't hit the notification bell, be sure to do that so you know when that video comes out. And until then, have a good day.